Hello, this is the last video for session 2 of Intelligence and Learning, a course that I'm teaching right now in 2017. But you, alien of the future watching, I am Daniel Schiefman, human being of Earth. Okay, anyway, so I've got some sort of evolutionary problems going on. Anyway, you're here, you could do a homework assignment. So there were so many videos in this session. Did you actually watch all of them? If you did, thank you, that's wonderful. Now I'm curious to see what kind of creative projects, what kind of interesting, new, innovative, or just experimental, or fun, useless ideas can you implement by exploring genetic algorithms and other kinds of evolutionary algorithms. So one thing that you might think about is starting with this Shakespeare monkey example, which made up the first 4 videos of this particular series. And what if you were trying to evolve as a target something that wasn't text? What if it was music or perhaps imagery? What if you think of each character as a vector path in like an SVG kind of shape, or even each character as a pixel? There are some really interesting ways. Actually, I'm gonna, just right here in this video, I'm gonna Google this project. Evolve Mona Lisa genetic algorithm. I hope this is going to come up with the right thing that I'm thinking about. Yeah, so this is a wonderful explanation, and I'm going to actually maybe click on this one. I'm back. I actually just found the link while I wasn't making this. Anyway, you get the idea. I did a little edit there. So you could think about evolving an image by having the genetic material actually be a list of polygons with certain colors positioned in certain ways. And look at this over time, if I run this for a while. This is an example of evolving an image to look like the Mona Lisa. And of course, you could pick any other image to go as input. And this is also a, this is implementation. This is an implementation of Roger Alsing's idea, which I'm going to click on this particular link, and this describes the process and how this was developed. So that's something you could explore. I'd love to do a coding challenge actually trying to implement something like this, but you could explore that, and you've got the tools for doing that right here in this particular example. Okay, some other homework ideas that you might consider. You might think about improvements you could make on the smart rockets example, maybe just adding, just simply from a design idea, like this is my smart rockets example. The design leaves a lot to be desired, and what are some other more complex ways you could think about the obstacles, the target, does the target move around, what's the design of these rockets? This is something you could certainly explore. And then really, I think, how could you think about the interactive selection problem? So if you remember, my interactive selection example is simply just these like really crude designs of faces with a couple squares and a circle. But how could you take a design, a font, a shape, a drawing, and how can you encode that drawing and be as virtual as digital DNA? And how could you have users then rate those drawings, those designs, to evolve towards some other and get new imagery out of that? So I think that's an exciting possibility. Thinking about music, evolving music in that way. A user listens to music, rates music, just even MIDI sequence. Those are things you could try. So anyway. Finally, I would encourage you to think about, I'm going to go to this particular example. I would encourage you to think about continuous systems and improvements that you might make on steering agents, autonomous agents moving through space. This is just food and poison, but what if you add a lot more, what if you add other elements to the environment? Predators, what if you add the idea of mating, so they have to be near each other to produce a new creature for the next generation? There's a lot of possible things I think you could explore. So anyway, this is me randomly giving you some ideas of things you could try. If you make stuff, please let me know in the comments. Share them with me at Schiffman on Twitter, and I will see you in session 3, which session 3 is going to be about classification and regression. So I'll see you in those videos if you choose to watch them. Okay, goodbye.